I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Liz Eston.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Liz to like musical theater. And today we've got an extra special guest.
Oh boy, extra special guest? How special exactly?
So special I had to sing it. My friends, please join me in welcoming one of the most amazing video creators to ever hit the scene. Really, truly one of the most effective creators that makes some heavier stuff, but I love them all. Please welcome him, the creator of LadyKnightTheBrave on YouTube. It's LadyKnightTheBrave!
Yay!
How are you doing, Lady Knight?
I am doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. And those of you who aren't on Patreon are missing out on the incredible hairstyle and just outfit that Lady Knight has on today. So
I actually put on makeup for you guys. You should feel special.
Ooh,
yeah,
I
so
didn't,
if you're not on Patreon, you're missing
probably
out.
wasn't worth it.
Listen, I don't like showing my face on the internet. So like when I do, I try to look nice so that people will maybe judge me less on my appearance.
Well, you look great. The eyebrows, 10 out of 10 on fleek. Or do we say that anymore?
Nobody says on fleek
No one
anymore,
says on
but
fleek,
it's
Jess.
still
You're old
accurate.
as hell.
All white. I don't think any of us should ever say it.
Yeah, we're very white.
Well, I feel like we've claimed it now, you know?
No.
We've ruined
That's why no one
it, is
uses
what
it
you're
anymore.
saying.
Yes, we've ruined it is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go get on a bus with Meatloaf.
Speaking of white culture, what are we talking about
Colonizing.
today?
Spice World. It's Spice
Yeah,
World.
Spice World! Cue the music free! Spice World is a film written by Kim Fuller with music and lyrics by the Spice Girls and a bunch of other songwriters. Based on the absolutely true story of the Spice Girls, this actually happened. You can't prove me wrong. It premiered at the United Kingdom on December 15th, 1997, ahead of its wide theatrical release at the British holiday Boxing Day, December 26th. In North America, it was released on January 23rd, 1998 by Columbia Pictures. In the United States, Spice World had become a box office success and broke the record for highest ever weekend debut for a Super Bowl weekend with box office sales at $10.5 million. It grossed over $100 million at the worldwide box office. Despite being a box office success, the film received primarily negative reviews. However, in recent years, many critics have praised the film as a cult camp masterpiece. The plot of Spice World is: hang on to your knickers, pump up your platforms, and fasten your seatbelts because the Spice Girls, Emma Bunton, Jerry Halliwell, Melanie Brown, Melanie Chisholm, and Victoria Adams
You're
are
not going to
taking
give their spice names?
okay.
Say their spice names.
Okay. Baby Spice,
Scary.
Ginger Spice, Scary Spice, Sporty Spice, Posh Spice are taking center stage in their feature film debut, Spice World, a roller coaster ride which will spice up your life and open your eyes very wide.
In confusion.
I do think the most honest credit in this movie is based on an idea by Kim Fuller and the Spice Girls.
Yes.
That is the most honest credit I've ever seen. And I do wonder how many scenes, specifically the ones where it's just the Spice Girls, were scripted. Because, you know, it is very clear that they have decent chemistry with each other because they know each other. But everybody was like, we're not going to get them to act. Like, not really.
I've never seen a film in my entire life that had 9 subplots, but no first plot.
I don't even know what happens.
Is that they're really nervous about performing at Albert Hall, even though at this stage in their career, which, okay, so like technically speaking, the movie was literally made during that like massive rise to fame, but it is still kind of straining credulity that they haven't already performed at halls at least as big, and why they're for some reason nervous about Albert Hall specifically.
Albert Hall's fairly small.
They
like,
already
compared
have
to,
a
like,
bus named after them.
They have a TARDIS bus, the bus that's bigger on the inside. That bus is
Piloted-
magical.
Much bigger on the inside.
So
But it's-
big.
We should bring up who it's piloted by your best friend, Andrew, Meatloaf.
Friend
Yeah,
of the show, Meatloaf.
Very good driver, apparently.
He'd
Better
do
than
anything
Posh
for those
Spice,
girls.
At least.
But he won't do that.
And I had it on good authority that his career was going strong up until his final days. But I guess he had to bus drive on the side.
Like, so there were a lot of fun facts. There were a lot of celebrities who wanted to just show up in the Spice Girls movie because they were big, and they kept having to rewrite the script to include these celebrities to the point that a script supervisor nearly quit because they kept changing the script. Also, the script kept changing because the Spice Girls just on the day would be handed a scene and then they'd be like, no, I want to do that line. Oh, no, I want to be the one to hit Jerry, whatever. My accent's so shit. I'm sorry. I just really like imitating the way Scary says, oh, no. When I say go, we go. These are things that are just like imprinted in my brain. And
what is your history with the Spice Girls? And Spice World, of course.
So 98, I would have been about 6 or 7. And yeah, we loved the Spice Girls. We had a few of the cassette tapes. Me and my 2 sisters, like, knew all the songs, sang all the harmonies. When my cousins would come down for Passover, we would watch Spice World, and there would be 5 of us when my cousins came down. So like, yeah, no, we loved Spice Girls and we loved Spice World. And also I have a very visceral memory of, pretty sure the VHS had a trailer for the Madeline movie. Do you remember the live action Madeline movie?
I watched that as a kid. Florence McDormand in that? Frances McDormand
no
in
idea.
it?
I just remember there was a live action Madeline. I watched it. And I'm pretty sure it was advertised on the VHS for Spice World, which I'm not sure we own. I think my cousins are the ones who actually had it on VHS and would bring it with them when they visited.
Yeah, Frances McDormand is in the Madeline movie. She plays a nun.
I had one fun fact to pull out for that movie.
Hey, so yeah, no, like, it's viscerally connected to my childhood. I have an affinity. If you were a girl in this era, you probably had a favorite Spice Girl. Mine was Sporty because I'm gay. I'm just like, I'm not going to make assumptions about the real Melanie C, but Sporty Spice, as depicted in this movie, is a lesbian, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Real life woman, she can do whatever she wants. Sporty Spice in this movie is a lesbian.
Sporty Spice is a character, right? I mean,
they talked a little bit about, like, they kind of, the personas were, I think some news outlet is the one that first coined them, but like they kind of started playing into it when they were trying to basically figure out if they should be like coordinating their outfits, and then they went, oh, screw it, we're all just going to dress up how we want. And so yeah, most of these outfits were to some degree chosen by them, which is wild to imagine. I don't know at what point it becomes more curated, but at least at some point Jerry was picking out those outfits, and Scary Spice like leopard print, I would guess.
Were they picking their outfits for the outfit montage scene where they're obviously just improvising toward a camera?
God, I love that scene so much. Also, a thing I noticed like this week when I was rewatching it is, so I don't know, first off, did you sit through the credits? Did you watch the credits?
Yes,
scene?
I watched the credits. I watched the
God
real
bless.
world Alan Cumming mentioning
What
that he
happened
has.
to the bottom of the bus? I love this fucking. But so after that, they play one of my favorite songs, "The Lady is a Vamp," and it is just chock full of pop culture references. Like, there's literally a verse where they're just referencing Marilyn Monroe films. Norma Jean had a 7-year itch. Some like it hot to a fever pitch. Like, they're just saying Marilyn Monroe movies. And so yeah, Jerry dresses up as Marilyn Monroe. They make James Bond references. There's a bunch of stuff in that.
Roger Moore is in the movie.
He sure fucking is. There's a bunch of stuff in that dress up montage that I'm like, you guys referenced this in Lady is a Vamp. I know that probably wasn't an intentional thing, and this is just the pop culture you like to reference, but this is funny to me.
Hell yeah. Lady Knight, let me indulge one thing. I really want Andrew to try to describe the plot of this movie.
That's not going to go very well at all.
We may need to help. We may need to help him.
You got
You're
this,
definitely
Andrew,
going to have to help me because I have no
I do have to
fucking
ask
clue.
before you try. Do you know Richard E. Grant, the guy who plays the manager? Do you recognize him from things?
I do.
Yeah.
Like the movie things, or
Like actor. He's just like the actor Richard
Fuck
E.
you,
Grant.
Andrew.
I recognize.
I just
him,
really
yes.
I've known him ever since because of this movie, and every time I see him in like a real piece of media, I just like smile to myself because I remember when he wore like suits that were all purple or all green and hideous and had weird facial hair, and I just had to ask because I love Richard E. Grant. Anyway, summarize the movie.
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard to summarize. I imagine the script for this movie was written on like 3 napkins in crayon, or something like that. Because honestly, it's
very
so
quickly.
it's so nonsensical. But I'll try. So the Spice Girls are, I can't tell if they're becoming famous or already famous. I think they're becoming famous at the start of the movie. They might already be famous. It's really hard to say.
I think they're already famous.
They're
on
already
tour.
famous, but the movie can't decide. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're on tour-ish, and there is a camera crew and a director that's trying to make what I assume is the movie we're currently watching.
Yeah, and that's played by
no,
Alan
that's-
Cumming.
No, the documentary isn't. I don't think the documentary is. The Hollywood producers that keep pitching the movie,
Yes.
they're the ones that are making the movie that we're now
So
watching.
they're making the movie we're watching, but the documentary crew is just part of the movie that we're currently watching,
Yes,
making a
that's
different
correct.
movie
Confused,
about the
yes.
Spice Girls.
So the
And
Hollywood
the
producers
documentarian
wrote
is Alan
themselves
Cumming.
into the movie
Yes, they
about
sure
them
fucking
making the
did.
movie.
Yes. Also, a man makes it rain indoors when he's upset.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, continue. I think you've got us on the tip of our seats right now.
This is where it kind of falls apart. I don't really know. So there's like a manager that is trying to like help them, and there's like a creepy guy who is trying to stop them because he hates the Spice Girls.
Well,
Well, he
he's
got hired too.
Yeah, well, the creepy guy is hired by the media mogul.
Yes, the media mogul hates the Spice Girls, and he hires the guy that is creepy that comes out of the toilet to the Friday the 13th theme song.
Yep.
Did you
my
recognize
God,
that guy?
Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. I just like I knew it was extra and spooky for some reason. I didn't realize it was Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it's just actually the Friday the 13th.
There's a mini
theme. I
Friday
think they
13th
just
remake in like
took
the
it.
middle of this movie. It's really
It's
Yes.
great. Best scene of the movie, in my opinion.
I also don't understand what that scene even like. He just comes out of the toilet,
Yeah, he does.
as he does.
goes
And then they
to
talk
take
about-
pictures, and then it just kind of like
He
yeah, go ahead.
overheard them being nervous about the show, and he published an article about how they're nervous about the show, and this makes them look bad.
Yeah, Andrew. Are you stupid? Are you
Wouldn't
can't
that
follow
make
the
them
movie?
be more relatable?
Yeah.
One
wouldn't
would think, but also, why does the media mogul want to not write about the Spice Girls if it's selling him lots of newspapers?
Maybe he
Because
wants
he
more
hates the
journalistic
Spice Girls.
integrity. And he wants
Yeah,
to write
it's-
about other things that aren't the Spice Girls.
He thinks he's
Yeah,
a
there's-
real Bob Woodward over there.
Yeah.
So much other stuff to write
This
about.
movie's
but
really
instead,
deep.
Spice Girls.
So, did you recognize the creepy guy, Andrew?
Like in a way of like I've seen him before, but I can't put my finger on it. Yes.
That is Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Richard O'Brien himself.
Richard O'Brien.
Okay.
And he deserves an
that makes
Oscar
sense.
for his performance in this movie. He's so good.
Just literally texted me this when I said Spice World is confusing.
And I said Richard O'Brien deserves an Oscar.
And I said
Spice
Richard
World
E. Grant thinks he's in a real movie.
I think
So then-
Richard E. Grant shows up to every project, no matter what it is, and treats it like he's going to give an Oscar-worthy performance, and I love that about him. Doesn't matter what it is.
Even The Rise of Skywalker, he was trying.
Oh my God, he was in some really shit episodes of Doctor Who, and he was trying there too.
He was the Ninth Doctor and he was trying.
No?
Yeah. Technically.
What?
He was the
Is this
second
some-
ninth Doctor in the animated Shriek of the Shulka.
Man, this
Okay,
is
I
some,
haven't seen
this
any
is some
animated
trivia.
This is some deep cut
The
stuff. I
first
don't
Ninth
know.
Doctor was Rowan Atkinson in the Nose Day special, the Red Nose Day special.
No, we don't count that.
I mean, I count everything because Stephen Moffat wrote it, so.
We definitely don't count that. Stephen Moffat does not lend it credibility. Anyway,
Hey, we're 12
Spice
Doctor
World.
stands over here.
More plot stuff.
Continue with the plot, Andrew. Get us to the end.
The manager like says something. I might even be skipping too far ahead here, but the manager says something that makes them break up. I can't even fully remember what it is that he says, but he's upset because he just broke up the Spice Girls, and that's so bad. And then they go and they sing.
I've broken up the Spice Girls.
And then he screams so hard. Also, by the way, I really like that when Sporty has a dark night of the soul, she's holding like a softball, like a football, soccer ball. Like she's just holding a soccer ball.
She's sporty. What else would you expect?
In the first scene on the bus, she's on an exercise bike inexplicably the entire dialogue.
And then they have a scene where they talk about like, why do people stereotype us all the time?
And Emma Bunn's has like pigtails in, is wearing a baby doll dress and holding a lollipop. It's like, I'm not a baby.
10 out of 10 movie.
They're jokes that I might have understood if I knew which one of the Spice Girls each one of them were, but I don't.
They tell you pretty early on. I mean, they
like
literally
I can
show their
remember.
The opening credit montage is just their faces, just like
They actually say their names, but they don't say their nicknames. Anyway. Oh, I love the James Bond opening. It's so ridiculous.
I love Mel B's face the whole time. She's like, "This is the best moment of my life. I will never top this moment."
I love Mel C, Sporty, because when she's singing, her eyes like to pop out a lot when she'll just like all the time. But also, she's the best singer. Like vocals, she's the best singer.
Mel C?
Yes.
I saw her in Jesus Christ Superstar, and she is a very good singer.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I agree.
Spice Girls trivia.
Yeah,
Spice Girls
that's
trivia.
it. That's as much as I got. Andrew, get us to the end. We gotta get to the end of this movie.
They break up, sort of, but not really. And then they're like, remember when we were not famous? You think we've changed? And then they just play at the hall. And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
And they have to help their pregnant friend.
There is an entire sequence that doesn't actually happen that I didn't go over, but
I do really like. So I think that in the photo montage, they actually tell you the theme of the movie when Scary is pretending to be Ginger, and she goes blah blah blah, girl power, feminism. You know what I mean? And like that's the movie. That's the movie. It is blah blah blah, girl power, feminism. And
from people that obviously don't understand any of those phrases,
it's just like. It's baby's first concept. Like we're not doing a lot other than saying girl power, but like, you know,
girl
if
power,
you're
right?
6,
Girl power.
Honestly, my favorite is when in the Spice Force 5, the movie pitch for them being like superheroes.
Charlie's Angels.
Jerry, like Superman, transforms into Bob Hoskins and then walks out, and it's still Jerry's voice coming out of Bob Hoskins going, girl power, equalization between the sexes.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up, actually.
That's the theme. That's the theme of the movie.
Bob Hoskins. He said
they also just have the Wonder Woman theme in there. They just have theme
the
songs
Rocky
for
theme
stuff.
and so many theme songs.
Yeah, it's I love it. So let's see. I have a bunch of factoids. So the guy who wrote it, Kim Fuller, was actually brother to their manager, Simon Fuller. He has written like a few other things, although not much that I've seen. I think, I forget what.
From Justin to Kelly.
Yeah, Justin and Kelly is like the one thing I've heard of.
Yeah.
Very good movie.
I haven't seen it. The idea of it was kind of based on a Beatles Hard Day's Night, just like where they did a movie that's like a day in the life kind of thing. That was the original concept.
I think they kind of fell away from that as soon as the aliens subplot entered.
Well, no, that actually happened, though.
Yeah, that happened in real life.
Right.
They ran into aliens. Remember? It's the based on their true
Honestly,
story.
that was the most accurate part of the whole thing.
So here's some quotes from Kim Fuller.
Let's go.
He says, I did a very rough script. It was all so fast. I started the script in January. We shot it, edited it all, and it went out in December. That's unheard of. Kim's screenplay working title 5, inspired by Hard Day's Night. It's not a big genre movie made with bands. There's a Hard Day's Night, and that's about it. He explains, I thought you can't expect the girls to act characters, so let's just let them be themselves. I'll make it a week in their life and make it surreal and kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
Kind of weird?
Maybe overdid it on the weird then.
Yeah.
Also, so this is really yikes. So, okay. for people who watch Torchwood, Naoko Mori, their friend, the actress who plays her was in Torchwood. But people were weird to her during the making of this movie. And at one point, a newspaper referred to her as Rice Spice. Maury said it was mildly racist, but also pretty hilarious, which I'm glad she had a sense of humor about it, because yikes. But the big problem with this movie was trying to keep paparazzi off the set, because again, they were getting really huge during the making of this, and this is my favorite. So this apparently during the shoot, press got especially creative. Two of the most lateral thinking paparazzi had dressed themselves up as a pantomime cow, a producer says. They were hiding in a real field of real cows with a telephoto lens sticking out of the cow's bottom, trying to sneak photos of the girls going to the set.
The 90s were a wild time.
The 90s are nuts.
Yeah, I love this movie. It's definitely insane. I would describe it as like a picaresque. There are those movies where it's just a series of incidents leading to a conclusion. I like that they embrace their low budgetness in the whole finale, where like, yeah, it suddenly becomes a toy
finale,
bus going over the bridge.
The finale is the best part of the movie.
That is when the movie becomes like, I see what you guys are doing. It all illuminated on me. But Andrew, explain.
So the finale, the finale is a pitch for a movie producer.
Yeah.
About like a bus chase, and I think they're trying to get to the hospital because one of their friends is pregnant or something.
No, they're trying to get to the concert now.
They're trying to get to the concert.
The pregnant friend has just given birth, and now they need to get to the concert.
She gave birth so that way they could say, "Now that's girl power."
Yes, and she did have a daughter. So
she sure did.
Yeah, and then they have to get to the concert, and it's like a bus chase thing, and they jump over a bridge, and it's all like low budget, and it's like, and then they're like, well, how are we gonna fund all this?
Also, Victoria's not driving the bus because Meatloaf is just gone.
Yeah, Meatloaf like went to go to the bathroom or something, and so they like he wasn't immediately there, and they had to go. No,
Meatloaf is dead.
So,
Meatloaf is dead.
He was dead.
Yeah, they killed Meatloaf.
They show him like coming back to like where the bus was and going like, hey, so
they took my bus.
He took my bus.
Yeah, and then also he's at the concert hall later enjoying Spice Up Your Life. But
as we all were when that song kicked in.
Oh, hell yeah. And I really love that entire sequence. One of my favorite details is when they're suddenly on the top of the bus and then they fall down. Baby Spice is on the top of the pile and doesn't know how to act naturally, like she's fallen down. And so she's just lying there very stiffly on the top of this pile, and it's very funny.
Give her an Oscar.
Oh my god, give them all an Oscar.
Give Emma Bunton
honestly,
an Oscar.
Just for running in those platforms. Like, I would die. Actually, no, the most impressive one is Posh walking through the grass when they're doing the military dance thing. And she's just walking through wet, muddy grass in like spike heels that are very tall. I'm like, that's very impressive. I would break both my ankles.
I mean, there's a lot of times where I look at them and what they're wearing. I'm like, that entire outfit looks dangerous to walk in.
Mostly for Jerry. The rest of them I can kind of get behind, but Jerry's just kind of wearing like, I don't even know what you call those, leotards? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's not a lot there. God bless her, but
Emma's also always wearing platform sneakers like this big.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they're all wearing platform shoes except for Posh, who wears like just
tiny little heels.
Yeah. That are very tall and very thin.
Very thin, which is a nightmare to walk in.
I know. I have to wear wedges.
I can only wear wedges.
Lady Knight, I got a question for you. As someone that has actually listened to our podcast, you're not stepping into this like I have no idea who you people are. Mm-hmm. Which Spice Girl are each of us most like? Like if you had to assign all of us a Spice Girl.
Oh boy.
Including yourself, of course.
Yeah, assign yourself.
Well, I'm obviously sporty.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the lesbian.
So Sporty Spice is taken.
Also, Mel C is apparently with men mostly, but she could be bi, so who knows?
Again, no, I'm not going to make claims on the real Melanie C.
The character.
The character is a lesbian.
Sporty Spice is a lesbian.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me otherwise. I don't have her physical fitness and I can't do back handsprings, but I'm gay. So here we are. Let's see. So I think, Andrew, I could see you being Scary Spice.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see you like grabbing a fish tank and going, ah. And that one looks like my ex-boyfriend, Steven.
It does seem somewhat like something I would do.
And then, Jess, I think I could see you being Jerry. Go, power,
that's
equalization of the sexes. And then,
I do look like Bob Hoskins. I see it.
The ginger spice?
Ginger
Yeah.
Spice.
Yeah. And then Liz. So we've got Posh and we've got Baby.
I have no fashion sense for context, so
I mean, I barely do. I'm going to say Baby just because I don't see Posh.
yeah.
I don't think you're aloof enough.
No.
Let's get her the sucker and the little baby outfit.
Listen, we've all loved a stuffed animal in our time. I wish I had that many.
I mean, I have one right here in case I get anxious, so
Yeah.
Andrew's
You
my
know.
stuffed animal in case I get anxious. So
Fun fact, there was because the entire fiction of like when they were young and up and coming and seeing Fleabag's dad at the bar. That's
yes,
Fleabag's dad.
yes,
at
I
the
knew
bar.
he looked familiar. I was like, why do I know that
was
face?
like, but so like that was an entire fiction. They were cast for this band, basically. They tried out for it. It's like K-pop bands now where they just sort of assemble them. So they initially had a different fifth member before Emma Bunton, Baby Spice. She didn't work out. And so they brought in Emma, but I believe there was a point when they were trying to pitch their sort of like personality nicknames where they thought about like Nerdy Spice. That didn't fly.
I don't know. I feel like it
Nerdy
would fly better
Spice.
today.
I mean, now it would be extremely relatable, but yeah, at the time in the 90s.
Why isn't there Mommy Spice? I feel like that would fly
Because-
more today.
Oh God! I mean,
Mommy
I love
spice?
the-
You want a
Mommy
mommy
spice?
spice?
No,
Mommy,
because
sorry,
they sing
Mommy.
the song called Mama.
Mama
You can't have
Spice.
a mommy. No, because it would be like that. It would be about one of them. It's about their moms. They're supposed to be girls. The whole thing was that they knew they were appealing to young girls. Honestly, I do think that's a big. I part of the reason I wanted you guys to watch this before you covered Six is because I do think understanding the Spice Girls helps you get Six. Because they kind of function in that similar way where there's like, you can pick your avatar, like the one that you relate to. With Six, they're all color coded. With this one, you've got scary,
I will say
all
as a
that.
person that understands the Spice Girls and is borderline obsessed with Six, that is correct. It does help you grasp it.
It absolutely does. Like that there's a video of them of like a flash mob where the Six cast show up and like the girls screaming and crying. Like that's what it was for the Spice Girls. It's a very similar vibe where this is meant for young teen girls. And it really works for that. And I can still love it now. And I enjoy Six, but it's that thing of like you can tell who it's for, and that's the fun of it. That's why it doesn't need to be more than blah 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 girl power feminism, because it's for 12-year-olds. And just introducing them to the concept of feminism is useful.
I agree, but also this movie has some like raunchier jokes that feel like it's.
Oh yeah, no, the lyrics of Spice Girls songs are pretty wild in a way that I can't believe my parents let us listen to.
I feel like the movie, the humor of it is too surreal for like a young audience to even understand.
But also too juvenile
like,
for adults.
I really
it's too
love
surreal for me, and I like surreal stuff.
I love the running thread that Richard E. Grant's character wants to commit murder. Just like pay attention to that throughout the movie. He wants to kill somebody.
Even if it's
He's
himself.
Yeah, that's literally the last
Honestly.
thing he has where the Spice Girls come back. It's like, this. Now I'm going to get a noose and go on
Hang
stage.
myself.
And the
I don't
Spice Girls
lie
come back. He's like, I
myself on
love
stage.
them.
Yeah, no, but like he like puts his hand on a man's neck. He talks about killing, I think, birds in that scene with Roger Moore where he's like, get some blood on the walls, and Roger Moore's like, no, and he's like, fine, okay. There's just a lot of weird threads in this movie that I find really, really funny. And then in between, there's just a shit ton of Spice Girl songs that I really like. And I have my favorites and I'll just like sing along. I used to love Spice Up Your Life when I was a kid. That was like my favorite one because they literally tell you how to dance it. They do. They say, step to the left, you're having a good time, shake to the right if you know what you feel fine. It's very simple and straightforward and easy to do with your sisters.
So if you're having a bad time, do you step to the right instead?
I will, yes. Step in the reverse of their directions. It's like the anti-cha-cha
Did you see any
slide.
red flags? Yeah, she stepped to the right when she was supposed to
During
step
Spice
to
Up
the
Your
right.
Life, she's not in a good mood.
Honestly, the part that was wild is because I watched it with subtitles recently, and I did not clock. It's that thing of like, I haven't read the lyrics for these, so there's times where I'm like, I know there's probably real lyrics that I've just been butchering for years and years, but Yellow Man in Timbuktu is a line in Spice Up Your Life, and I was like, oh no.
Which one of you is the racist Spice?
Also, there's also a line in that same verse, kung fu fighting.
Yes, but that's not, I mean, that's less bad.
Yeah.
But you put
It's
those
still
both
not-
together.
It's just,
Yeah, no, putting them together is bad.
Not to mention
honestly-
tribal spaceman is also in this verse, and I don't even know
Oh,
what that
God,
means.
you're right. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I mean, there's also like the weird racial politics of just Scary Spice in general, where like they named the black woman Scary. Like, were
Yeah.
time. Again, I can't be the one to fully
Does
weigh
she
in on
dress
that.
in like scary outfits or anything?
She dresses
or
in
is-
leopard print, but that's about it. It's just, again, there's moments and like some of that, it's hard to know how much of that they willingly signed up for and how much of it was put on them. There's only so much that we know of that. So it's just like, they were all in their like early 20s. It's still kind of, I'm going to let a black person weigh in on it, but it seems yikes.
Yeah. Melby
Yeah.
said a while ago, it was a lazy journalist who couldn't remember her names. That one's sporty, that one's posh, that one's definitely scary because she's really loud.
Yeah, no, the loud northern accents for her and sporty were like a thing that were mocked often. Because also Britain is really classist.
No, never.
Britain would never do anything like that.
Speaking of classist, how about we compare our opinions to those of the critics when this first came out? It's time for previews!
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
We've got a review here because this famously was one of the films that Roger Ebert despised more than most films.
Roger Ebert was wrong about half the time.
Roger Ebert sometimes is super right about some things when everyone else is wrong, and then other times was the most wrong he could be on things.
Sometimes he was just such a white straight man.
Yeah.
I will.
Good way to put it.
I agree. I like his wife. His wife seems really cool.
Oh, I don't know anything about her.
She seems absolutely lovely.
All right,
very
Jess,
nice
who's
lady.
reading this?
I'll read this because I feel like if I'm gonna do an impression of a Midwest angry man, I think it should be me.
All right.
You are a Midwest angry
Yeah,
man.
that's
most
what
of
you
the
are.
time.
That's my life.
Yeah, Dan's right on the East Coast. So
But all right, I gotta do my best Roger Ebert here. So this is from the Chicago Sun-Times article he wrote, which is, "The Spice Girls are easier to tell apart than the Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that's a small consolation. What can you say about 5 women whose principal distinguishing characteristics is they have different names? They occupy Spice World as if they were watching it. They're so detached from it they can't successfully lip sync their own songs. During a rehearsal scene, their director tells them with such truth that we may be hearing a secret message from the screenwriter that was absolutely perfect without being actually any good. Spice World is obviously intended as a ripoff of A Hard Day's Night, which gave the Beatles the go-to movies. They should have ripped off everything they could get their hands on. The movie is a day in the life of a musical group that has become an overnight success, and we see them rehearse, perform, hang out together, and deal with such desperately contrived supporting characters as a trash newspaper editor, a paparazzi, and a manipulative manager. So lacking in human characteristics are the girls that when the screenplay falls back on the last resort of bankrupt filmmaking imagination, a live childbirth scene, they have to import one of their friends to have the baby. She at least had the wit to get pregnant, something that something beyond the girls, since it would involve a relationship and thus attention span. Words fail me as I try to describe my thoughts as the prospect of the Spice Girls shouting push.
Jeez, that's a little
Roger,
overly
you
mean.
need to eat a Snickers.
Oh,
No.
Roger, suck a dick.
So,
Suck a giant, massive dick, Roger.
it's very
I'm
mean.
so offended.
I even
so
agree that the
fucking
movie
offended.
wasn't good with Roger, but this is very mean. This is
No,
That
that is so, and also just like
Needlessly cruel.
So cruel.
yeah. It's like
so
why
awful on so.
Why-
That is
Is he
so
saying-
misogynistic.
is he trying to say the girls in the movie? Because it just sounds like he's talking about
The
them
human
as
beings.
actual people.
Also, is a childbirth scene a go-to for screenwriters out of ideas? Like, what does that
I
even
mean, it does
mean?
take
Maybe
back-
that one's a maybe.
That date back to the Bible, if you think about it.
I just like also I don't know. I think there's some really funny lines around the birth scene where it's just like I love that they're idiots who don't understand childbirth.
Can a
and so
godmother
they're
get stretch
yelling,
marks?
like like Posh asking if she's gonna get stretch marks as a godmother, and then like stay up there, we're not ready for you yet. And one of them going like, okay, put your legs together, and then someone goes, she should have done that 9 months ago.
I forgot that.
The movie's got some fun lines. The thing is, it kind of is overstimulating at a point where you can't really catch every clever line, because all
Yeah.
those lines are pretty
You
funny.
have to rewatch it 30 times to pick up all the incredible lines.
Well, I know what I'm doing
no one
this
can make me
weekend.
watch it again.
I feel like I was not on
Howard.
enough substances when I watched it.
If I
feel
take
like
a couple
I was
shots of
far
whiskey, I
too
might be able to
sober.
pick up more of the.
I don't drink, and I've only ever watched this movie completely dead sober, and I have a great time. So you're all cowards.
Maybe I am just
I
a coward.
love
Maybe I need to be
bad
braver.
movies, but I don't like this one. It just doesn't work
Get on
for
my
me.
level, Andrew. God.
I guess I can watch a Neil Breen film all the way through and enjoy it,
Oh,
but
Even
I
the one where
cannot
he
watch
has a
Spice
twin
World.
with a beard?
Oh, that one's the best one. But I couldn't watch this. It didn't make any sense. It's too random.
You know
and
what?
it didn't feel like there was passion behind it.
I think
To
I could
me.
watch this many more times, all things
I
considered.
don't think a lack of passion is the problem, because like you can tell that from scene to scene the performers are really energetic. It feels like that the people putting it together were very much coming up with it on the fly, which they were, as we can see in behind the scenes information.
The
They were.
napkin with the crayons.
Yeah. They rewrote it like
they-
15,000 times. So
Yeah, no, they kept rewriting it because Elton John would call up and be like, I want to do a scene in this movie. Also, I don't remember when Elton John came out.
Very
but
early.
the scene, oh, really? Because the scene with him feels like they were implying he's straight and into the Spice Girls. And I was like, that's a choice.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it came out. He's early on in the movie, but
No, yeah, like I meant literally like when he came out as gay publicly, because they all kiss him and walk away and he goes, woo, and I'm like, Elton.
Ellen came out as bisexual in 1976, and he came out
Oh,
as
I didn't know
gay
he
in
was bi.
1992.
Oh.
either way, he was not straight when walking into this movie.
Well, it's the Spice Girls, though.
Don't you see Posh's dresses? They're like up here.
Posh does not do it for me. I'm like Scary and Sporty were always my favorites.
you know what? I
Although
think that
I do have a fondness for Jerry.
Yeah.
I think that they're all equally beautiful.
It's all about which one's your favorite.
I'm with
I
you,
don't know.
Lady
What's
Night.
actually-
I think
what does
Sporty's
Roger
my
Ebert
favorite.
think? Why don't we ask him?
I like her.
You know what? It's
Wait,
ti-
which one's your favorite?
Oh, he was asking which was Roger Ebert's favorite.
No, not him.
No,
Liz,
no
I thought you said
Oh,
you
I
had a
said
favorite.
Sporty is also my favorite.
Fuck yeah!
I actually do think Scary's my favorite.
I think Scary's my favorite too.
Oh no, we're tied. Where's Brie?
Bree, when you edit this, edit in your opinion on the Spice Girls. Which one's your
Gary's
favorite?
my other favorite. It's fine.
Yeah, I kind of have a soft spot for Baby too, honestly, because I'm like the baby of the
Oh.
family too. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
I
same,
relate. I
same.
relate to you, Baby Spice.
They would
No
give me
love for
her
Baby.
bits a lot
get
because I was the youngest.
Bringing up Baby Spice. Either way, it's time to compare our opinions to those of the crazies over on letterboxd.com. It's time for Previews Part 2, 1 star or 5 star. All right.
I have a Letterboxd account. I need you to know this.
Oh, I know.
There are normal people who post on Letterboxd.
Oh, yeah.
Not all of them are unhinged.
Not
you
many,
seek out the
though.
weird ones.
Most of them are unhinged.
the ones I tend to find tend to be very unhinged. And you've
Yeah.
listened to the show, you know it.
Yeah.
I do know, and I'm very curious to see how I do on this. What are the teams?
Lady Knight, whose team do you want to be? Mine or Liz?
Liz!
Yay!
Hell yeah.
Power.
Girl power.
Girl power. All right, Andrew. Boy power.
We gotta stick
Proud
together.
boy power.
Gross.
Yeah, don't say boy power.
Yeah, don't
That
say
is
boy power.
not. That's like a. You
I'm
don't
baby
add.
boy.
Also, Jess, I'm just saying there's one of these reviews that I think I'm the only one that can say it. I think you know what it is.
I'll have to take a look, but you can choose it. If
I'm
it
about
ends
to
up being-
highlight it.
I'm very curious to see how I do it.
I have no fear in saying it, but if you get
Okay.
there first.
Okay.
All right, Liz, you're up first.
All right, let's go. Watch this on VHS in 2022.
Going to say 5 stars.
That is a 1 star.
Huh. All
First
right.
clue is they watched it.
No, I'm
Zing.
just trying to imagine. Shut up.
Fuck you.
I'm joking.
Shut up. You're wrong. You're incorrect, sir.
All right, Andrew, are you ready?
Yeah,
I'm wet already.
Oh, there's the horniness.
that is horny. 5?
That is correct.
I mean, usually the horny ones are 5 stars. I feel like
Sometimes.
Usually.
Yeah.
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 All right, we're gonna recover. All right.
Okay.
Lesbian spice.
Okay, please let that be 5 stars.
It's 5 stars.
All right, Andrew, they're catching up.
okay.
You, sirs, can keep your Citizen Kane.
Very comparable projects.
5 stars.
That is a
I
1
mean-
star, bafflingly enough.
Oh, they don't like Citizen Kane. They're like, Citizen Kane, worst movie I've ever seen until I saw Spice Girls.
All right. Is this a real band?
Did Billie Eilish write that one?
Ooh. It's like Spinal Tap, yeah.
1 star?
5.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be good at this game or terrible.
This is really hard. I had to play this a few times before I got good at it.
It is.
You don't even really get good. It's always
It's
just
luck
guesses.
of the draw.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, you ready?
I'm ready.
They killed Meatloaf. Or sorry, they really killed Meatloaf and blew up a bus. What?
What is with 2 T's, by the way?
Yes.
So apparently they watched the same movie that Jess did, where Meatloaf dies.
I just remember the bus blowing up, and I was like, did Meatloaf die?
No, Victoria Beckham died
Was
as a
he
clone.
on the bus when it blew up?
No.
We don't know.
No, he was
we
in the
don't see him during
bathroom.
that credit scene. No, because when you hear the bus blow up, it's during the credit scene. They go, "What
That's
happened to the bone with the
true.
bus?" And it explodes.
Oh, Meatloaf died
And
during
we
the
don't
credits
see
then.
Meatloaf during the credit scene.
So Meatloaf's on the
Therefore-
bus. Meatloaf
Yeah.
is
So
dead.
a clone of
Meatloaf is
Meatloaf
dead.
harassed Andrew on Facebook. Got it.
And then that clone died of COVID.
Rip.
Rest in peace,
Sorry, Meat.
Meatloaf.
Sorry, Meat.
Sorry we killed you with that video.
5 stars.
That's
5
a 1
stars.
star.
They like
Oh,
Meatloaf.
we can recover.
We're still tied.
I know, but we can win. All right. If Hard Day's Night can get a Criterion release, so should this.
5 stars.
It's a 1 star for some goddamn reason.
Nothing makes sense.
They're like, yeah, this was the best movie I've ever seen. 1
1
star.
star.
I write reviews that make sense.
I know, right?
All right, Andrew,
on
you ready?
this, on Letterboxd.
These are challenges.
I'm ready.
No matter how much success you have, you'll always end up having to pee into the woods.
Into the woods we have to
Pee.
go.
Pee with the Spice Girls.
Well, it's a different Into the Woods, though. This is where you meet aliens.
Yeah.
After you pee in the woods.
Is that spelled with 3 or 4 Ks?
5 stars? They watched the movie.
That was a 1 star. Is that the criteria you're giving?
Right. 1 star. 1 star, they watched the movie.
Oh, this is really tough.
Yes, it is 1 star, but you're not getting the point.
All
All right, Liz.
This is my Citizen Kane.
Okay, please let that be 5 stars.
It is a 5-star.
Lady Knight
So
takes
one-
the lead.
We're winning.
One person likes Citizen Kane, the other person hates Citizen Kane.
Yes.
I don't like Citizen Kane. This is my Citizen Kane.
All right, Andrew, you ready?
We all have a Citizen Kane.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I guess I'm ready.
All right, this is all in caps. It's very important you know this, and this might get me canceled, but I'm doing
Yeah.
it at Liz's face.
Maybe
boy.
you should
What is-
have
what
me
are-
do it.
Nope, I'm
What are
doing
you
it.
about to
No,
say?
no.
What are you
doing
about
it.
to say?
No,
All right,
Jess.
it's one word,
Jess.
4 letters, all in
Jess.
caps. Cunt.
Jess.
If you said it in a British accent, you would have gotten away with it.
Or Australian
That's
accent.
not a British accent.
Australian. They say that like a greeting.
How you doing, cunt?
Oh God,
That
stop
is,
saying
yeah.
it.
You're very not good at doing accents.
It's hard to do it with like one word. You kind of have to like form a sentence around it.
Cunt.
He's got a really good like Midwestern accent.
I can do
Please.
that in Mandy Patinkin and nothing else.
You do a
Yeah.
good Mandy Patinkin.
Thank you.
So this review is from Roger Ebert's Letterboxd, I assume. So I'm gonna say 1 star.
That is correct. Oh wait, no, that's a 5-star.
It's a 5-star. Nothing makes sense.
Why is it a 5-star?
Okay. Oh God, this is really okay. We might win
These
this
are
just because all
absolutely
these
unhinged.
are difficult. All right.
Okay.
Remember, none of these make sense before I say
Okay.
any of these.
All right, I'm gonna think opposite guy now.
I love this movie.
Okay, 1 star.
Correct.
Give hints that good.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, keep that idea. All right.
Keep that in
Okay.
mind.
They meet aliens. 9 exclamation points.
Then spaces between all of them.
They meet alien, 9 exclamation points.
All in lowercase, but there's a bunch of exclamation points.
Okay.
Emotions.
1 star.
That's a 5-star.
How is it a 5-star? Okay.
Because they meet aliens.
But I thought it was opposite. Sounds like they were excited, so I thought it would be.
Well, it
Jess told me it was the opposite.
I'll keep going. The game keeps going. Got
All right.
2 more, I think. 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, okay. S. Richard E. Grant is a freak. There's just an S in front of Richard E. Grant. I don't know why.
All right.
I don't think he's a sir.
Sir Richard E. Grant
He's a
is
freak.
a freak.
I mean, he is.
He's a freak, yeah.
He so is. I want to believe that's 5 stars.
That is a.
God damn.
I don't like
Andrew, we can-
Richard E.
I'm
Grant.
like, all of these are things I would say in a positive tone. I'd be like, yeah, no, he's an absolute freak. He wants to commit murder. He wears suits where everything is the same color. I love it.
It's very Josie and the Pussycats.
I love the joy being brought for this movie. It brings me actual smiles. And to watch Andrew's pain of like this movie sucks. Everything about this is bringing me the
For
joys.
the listeners who can't see, Andrew has gone to slouch mode on his chair.
It happens every recording session. It's just a
It's
joy.
not
to
a unique thing. This
Yeah.
is. I slouch every time.
Yeah.
4 hours of recording is a lot.
Yeah.
Andrew, here I think this is gonna be your last one.
Okay.
No, there's more.
Okay, yeah. There's
There's
one
4
each-
more.
Either
Okay,
way,
3 more.
I'm
each for
fine
both
either
of you.
way.
All right, opposite day. Another cinematic masterpiece was born.
So that one is a 1 then.
Yes.
Okay, you're giving like really good hints now.
Yeah, this
I
is
feel like
really
you should-
this is
I
legit
feel like that
difficult.
defeats the purpose of the game a little bit.
Well, the other 2 are a little bit more nebulous, so I figured
These are
I'd at
nebulous.
least give you 1.
This is actually kind of camp.
Actually, kind of camp. 1 star?
Yes. These other 2 are very nebulous.
Andrew, are you ready?
I guess.
I forgot what those are called. Greater than sign, no review, less than sign.
Greater than, so it's like the
So
2
it's
The
arrows.
opposite
in the bracket.
G's.
Yes.
So that's the opposite like arrows, and it just says no review in
Yes.
the middle.
That's all it says.
Great, thank you.
Shout out to that letterbox user.
5. The 5 stars on this one.
That's a 1.
Okay.
And Lady Knight, it is time for you to take your victory lap because there is no way for anyone to defeat you now. But might as well just answer this last one.
Yeah. All right. This is my favorite. So the Brits are just different.
It's not incorrect. I feel like it's true.
It's true.
1 star?
It's a 5-star.
Either way,
Okay. I
But you
would've
won
guessed
anyway.
the opposite day. Yay! I can't believe I won.
Girl
Hell
power.
yeah.
Girl power.
I wasn't in the headspace for this movie, so
For
I
the
couldn't. I
Spice
can't
Girls.
compete.
So do
I
we
can't
have an
compete.
advantage because of girl power?
Feminism,
Yeah.
blah,
That
blah,
might
blah.
be it. That might be it.
On that note, let's go into a mid-show and then we'll talk about some songs. Hi guys, today's show is brought to you by extremely kind donations by
Jess.
donors over
Jess.
on Patreon.
Jess,
It's time to
just
stop.
stop with the British. Stop. For all of us.
You're not good at
What
it.
you talking
Lady Knight's
about?
face as soon as it started was of shock and horror.
The patrons love it when I give me my little 1-2 buck of my stew.
It's time to stop.
Gollum voice. It's time to stop.
But seriously, we could not put on the show without our wonderful patrons. They are great. And if you join us on Patreon, you get to see a bunch of cool shits. You get our Patreon episodes a few days early. You get an entire dedicated podcast where we're currently talking about the Tangled series.
Yeah, you
with
get
me
to
and
hear
Liz.
me
It's
too.
That's a lot of fun. You get to hear me and Andrew give commentaries. I think we did one on Cryptoland, the musical, which is one of the weirdest things he's ever made me watch. Along with like the
That was a
Rent
fun one.
movie, the Phantom of the Opera movie, anything that you could imagine.
Camila
We've done
Cabello's
commentaries.
of Feminism Cinderella.
Yeah, we did do a commentary on that. You and I also did a
Oh,
full
no.
episode on that one. So
Thanks,
there's a lot
Jess.
of good content on that on Patreon that's just sitting there not being used. I'd say there's at least 200 hours of content of musicals with cheese that you're not getting unless you're on the Patreon.
And a bonus video that wasn't on YouTube because of copyright issues.
Oh yeah, you get an entire video of our Tonys like that couldn't go up to because of copyright, and we just put it there. So much free, not free, but so much cool shit. And honestly, the best part is if you're at any
You have to
level on
pay for it.
Patreon, you can see our beautiful faces right now and see Lady Knight's incredible makeup style. And oh my goodness, Lady Knight, you're doing a big old dance. You're flipping all around. You shouldn't be doing that. That looks dangerous. Look at that
Oh my
dance she's
goodness.
Oh
doing.
my god, this is
That's
the best dance I've
impressive.
ever seen.
It's
And I've
pretty
seen Spice
impressive.
World.
That's that. Oh my god, all 4 of the Spice Girls are in the room with you, Lady Knight. Did you
Hey,
plan
there's
this?
5. Isn't there
Have
5?
you seen the video where Emma Stone got basically punked by Graham Norton? He made her think that a Spice Girl was going to show up on the show, and she's like a huge fan of the Spice Girls, and she like legit freaked out because she thought maybe one of them was going to show up, and then they didn't, and she was so mad. It's very sweet. She's literally sitting there like with Andrew Garfield, like, no, hold on, I have to prepare myself.
Poor baby.
That's so sad.
It's so
That is honestly the saddest thing. It's like
Couldn't just get a Spice
it's
Girl.
terrible, but she did get to meet them after the fact. I've seen the Instagram.
That's good.
Okay, good.
So like it's fine.
Speaking of people that support and Instagram pictures, I don't know, I need to transition. These are the people currently supporting us over at Patreon. It's Melissa Goldman, Leighton Ackles, Danielle Renix, Jess the Stompede, Ewan Cassidy,
Please.
Monica Thoreau,
Stop.
Lena
Please.
Maneri, Brent
Stop.
Black,
Some of these people are British.
Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern,
Listen, you
Mary Lou
can't hate crime
Choquette,
with British, it's not
John
possible.
Vanals, Ross
Do
Walker,
French. Can you do a
Do a
French
French
one?
accent.
Musical Hell, Emily Gracie.
That's Transylvanian.
It was like French for one name, and then it went straight to Italian.
You even moved your hand like this.
Genesi, Scott in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Lisa Lim, Alison Stoller, nothing is sudden except beer.
This is
and taxes.
anti-Italian discrimination.
Lesbian, Ryan Collin, Rafael Martinez Salas, Jessica T, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, throw another accent, Timothy Keys, Chris Marcotte, Lee Moon,
Are you
Kiji
doing a
Marie
crime on the
Anastasio.
German? Can we do German?
German?
Oh no, maybe not.
Do Manny Patinkin.
9.
Do that. You can do that.
What?
Do Manny
Maybe-
Patinkin.
I ain't doing that.
Button. One of the only things I know in German. This is forbidden.
Kiji Mr. Marie Anastasio, Lela, Ardenarija, Super Antelope, Carly B, Patrick
did the
Deering,
angry
Henry
one.
Brinson, Bjorn Hermans, Erica S, Toriana Flesia, Sammy Zemos Lopez, Liana Morton, Angela, Kylie Bazier, Badman 69. 999 Cinema Critic Reviews, Villainous Miss Sofiana Ali, The Omega
Do a
Geek,
Canadian.
Canadian.
Katrin Evans, Paige Pearson, Maddie Borgoy, Elena Resnick, Hoboot, what? Alana Resnick, Elisa Erdman, Anna Loskatova, Cheska Vire, and any more for the last one?
No, just do a regular
Swiss.
one now. Regular accent.
Sarah Den Blaker. They give us a little financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals of Cheese. If you'd like to join them in supporting us and get tons of fun perks such as Patreon-only commentaries, our episodes a day early, or even earlier, come join us over at Patreon. All right, guys, we ready to get on to the songs?
Do we even need a second half after that?
Yeah. I feel like I need like an hour to recover.
Oh my god.
I dedicated.
Oh my god.
I dedicated.
The bouncing.
Oh God.
That was a nightmare.
I need my friend.
I feel like
The angry German, too.
German accent was really bad, so don't worry about it. But I was just like, this could go places real quick.
I really didn't want it to, but I didn't know what else to do.
You don't have to do
really
the
funny.
angry German.
Which I do think is very funny.
Patrons,
to say.
if you need an apology, I'll give it. I'm sorry on behalf of Jen.
I will write you a Notes app apology if requested. What do you think of the opening song, Too Much, which is basically
I love Too Much.
them looking at the camera sensually and moving their arms a little bit?
Well, my dear, you'll know that he pleases me. But short-term solution ain't no resolution. There ain't no release from me. Too much of something is bad enough. But something's coming over me to make me wonder. Too much of nothing is just as tough. I need to know the way to feel to keep me satisfied.
They're just doing a James Bond opening.
It's like James Bond opening if they had a $3 budget.
Have you seen older James Bond movies?
They had a $3 budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them look like that. Like, some of them legitimately look like
Those
Okay,
Roger
that's
Moore
fair.
bonds did not have any money.
No. And I love Too Much. That's actually one of my favorite songs to sing in the car. Boy who thinks he can. Oh, yes.
I think vibe-wise, it has a different vibe than literally any other song in the entire soundtrack. Like, this one feels very
Not necessarily.
mellow.
Mama's a pretty mellow song. They do stick to more of their upbeat songs, but they did have slow songs. And Mama's one of them, which you hear briefly.
Yeah, I was about to say.
In the scene where they think about being
I was
moms.
about to say, I don't remember that song very well, but it was only there very briefly, so that's why.
Like, tone-wise, why didn't they start with, like, a more upbeat, like, let's get ready for the Spice Girls kind of vibe song?
Like a wannabe.
I think because
You gotta save the big ones for the end.
That's a good
though.
point, yeah.
Yeah, and I do think that they were legit trying to go for the James Bond feel. Like, they were just like, we're going to do a Bond opening, we're going to do a Bond song. And Bond opening songs are not like high energy bangers, generally speaking.
They're low energy
They're usually,
bangers.
yes, actually very much. They're a lot more ballady most of the time. Like, Skyfall does not have a high BPM.
I mean, no, I agree. But then you've got, like, I don't know. I think of, like, the Billie Eilish one, the new one, where it just, like...
Again, not a high BPM.
But the percussion's really making up for it.
I guess.
Yeah, but they were going for 90s Bond, though.
Yeah, like
Not
Pierce
the same.
Brosnan
Yeah.
Bond.
Yeah, no.
Like-
and honestly, I think even more 70s, because a lot of Spice Girl shit is very like 60s, 70s evoking.
I get
so
that.
like specifically, I do think that they're thinking of like Roger Moore Bond openings, which have mellow tracks, generally
fair.
speaking. So yeah.
The only classic Bond I've watched is the George Lazenby one.
Oh, I've seen a lot of Bond openings because I had to look them up for research one time, but I haven't actually watched a ton of classic Bonds end to end. I've seen scenes.
Mm-hmm. Andrew,
They're probably not very good.
No, they're Austin Powers movies, basically. But Andrew, you turn this on. You're like, I'm doing musicals with cheese this week, and this is what you see. What is your reaction?
What, for Too Much?
Yeah, the opening
honestly,
number.
I had no idea what to expect with a Spice Girls movie, and I guess this was kind of what I expected, right? I mean, it's the Spice Girls. They're there.
They get their names put on
They're
the
singing.
screen.
Yeah. It wasn't not what I expected. You know what I didn't know, though, is I didn't know the Spice Girls were British until I watched this.
Oh my god! Literally, one of the most famous things about the Spice Girls is the time that Jerry wore a Union Jack dress.
Like, the only thing I knew about the Spice Girls at all was their "If You Want to Be My Lover" song.
Gotta get with my
That was
friends.
that was the
friends.
only one I knew.
It lasts forever. Friendship never
It's true, though.
ends.
From Chicken Little, the Disney movie.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that
It's
in Chicken Little?
There's a scene in Chicken Little where they sing karaoke and it's "Wannabe" by the Spice Girls, which is the first time I ever heard that song as a child.
That's so
Yes.
wild.
So that was the only thing I knew about the Spice Girls. At all.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt with a personal story, but this just triggered a neuron in the back of my head that hasn't fired in
no.
about 10 years.
Oh, no.
Wannabe. In high school, I was paid money by a teacher to film students sing a cover of it about science.
Did it win any awards?
No. It was just me getting paid like $150 to bring my fancy camera to school and record 4 girls sing this cover badly, and they played it in front of their entire class.
I've sung Wannabe at karaoke many times. Yeah, no, because like my sisters and I have got one time, it was not just us, it was a couple cousins and a bunch of us got up on stage and sang Wannabe. We were struggling through it because honestly, it's not actually my favorite song. So there are points where I'm like, zigzag.
It's the only important line.
Well, what do they sing during the part where it's like ba da 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 da? Because that's my favorite part. And I
Everybody's
don't know what they
down
say.
and something all around.
Yeah. Send me your body down and waddle.
Yeah,
around.
that.
Send me your body down and waddle.
Wait,
around. I think it's waddle or like waddies all around. It's something, or bodies all around. Like, that's one of those.
Waddies sounds like a British thing. Like it probably
Again,
means
it's
something.
one of those things where it's like that's one of those that I never looked up the lyrics, and so I'm just like I've been saying like waddies all around my entire life, and I don't think that's right.
It's not even that good. It's slam your body down and wind it all around or wind it all around.
Wind it all around. That's it. Slam your body down and wind it all around. That's it.
So did we
What does
talk
that
about
even mean?
the artist removed for this film because of the child pornography charges?
Oh yeah.
They show
What?
that the Spice Girls have more dignity and like respect for like humanity than fucking the Joker director.
Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter had a cameo in this movie, and as soon like he went to prison for child predatory and child molestation and child porn. Very bad.
In like 97.
Yikes. Not a good look.
So they cut him out of the movie, but it's okay. They in Joker, that's a song he dances to down the stairs, is a Gary Glitter song.
Which I thought was a bad choice, not just because it's Gary Glitter's song, but because it's a bad choice for that scene. But you know,
Who the fuck is Gary Glitter?
A pedophile.
A guy who went to prison.
he's a music producer.
Apparently,
He
yeah.
made a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, okay, what are some other songs?
Yeah,
from
what do
the
you
movie?
think? Like, 'cause the thing is, I don't remember most of the songs from this movie.
List another track. I will tell you.
When does Saturday Night Divas happen?
I believe it plays during the photo shoot.
That's it.
I'm not alone. No, you're not in my mind. You were the victim of your crime. I left you behind. Boy, you were a fool to treat me that way. I'm not gonna let you. I'm gonna forget you. There's nothing to say. You're a twisted lover. Yes, I'm telling on a superstar. That's what you are.
What's the one they sing when they have the guys that are going to be naked-ish, but then they decide to swap it?
Come on.
Is that the I'm the leader of the gang?
Come on, I say. Literally, almost the entire song. Yeah, I think it's you want to be in my
Yep,
gang,
that one.
my gang, my gang. You want to be in my gang. Oh, yeah.
And then the guys
a lot of
just
these
have
songs
their
I
ass
don't know
showing.
by
and
their
that's it.
Just
title.
the naked men show up and they're like, "What is this?"
We didn't know the
there's a lot of
choreography for our own dance before we started performing it.
Apparently we planned nothing, and also that Italian guy is like, this might be a racist caricature.
Yeah.
Anti-Italian discrimination.
Yeah, it's
No,
not as
not
bad as
our
what
show.
Jess did, but
Would
Never on our
happen
show.
on our show.
With the unibrow.
it's a me, Chris
and
Pratt.
You make them. Oh my god! It's Chris Pratt's performance as Mario.
We'll change the world.
It's me, Mario.
It's me, Mario. I sound like
That's not
this.
the voice. That's not the voice.
That's not the voice.
Yeah, so that's Saturday Night Divas. That's the one that plays during photo shoot, which genuinely, I love that scene.
We do have to talk about the final number that builds up to everything because I just love
Spice Up Your Life?
Spice Up Your Life is incredible. Like,
Oh, it's so fun.
When you're feeling sad and low, we will take you where you gotta go. Smiling, dancing, everything is free. All you need is positivity. Colors of the world, everyone, every girl, people of the world. Step into the light, shake it to the right, shake it to the front, go right.
and it actually shows off how very tiny the Royal Albert Hall is because they did shoot it there, and boy, does it look small.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's royal, and like that's why they're
royal,
nervous
yeah.
about it.
No, it's because Prince Albert's wife was really sad and just wanted hall dedicated to her dead husband. Like, it's actually
Yeah, it's
kind of
true.
cute, but also fuck the monarchy.
True.
Shake it to the right. Go right. Yeah, I love that song.
And their outfits in that scene specifically are
Oh
incredible.
my god.
Yeah.
I love all the glitter on their face in that
Yeah.
scene. It's giving me life.
Also, I love how they just cut to random characters just dancing along to it, and they finally
Yeah,
bring the
everybody's
aliens
there.
back.
Everyone's
the aliens
there.
went to the concert.
The gang's
the
all here.
newscasters are there. I think the only people we don't see are the newspaper dudes because they don't like
Yeah,
the
I
Spice
don't
Girls.
like to spare, so I'm
They
gonna
should
break
have
them
shown
up.
up anyways. It should have been like a. we
Richard
secretly
O'Brien
like
should have been
them.
in the getting a video camera in there.
I love Richard O'Brien when just his like very aggressive, like the way he'll just like thumbs up super hard, or like during the dance where he just starts like punching the air. Like I just, again, no holds barred.
Spice Up Your Life is on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I feel,
that's how I feel.
Andrew, is there any other songs that really stuck with you? Musical numbers where you're like, oh my god, that's spice. That's spicy.
Stop Right Now, or I guess it's just called Stop, plays like 3 times.
Is that the one about like needing like attention or something that kept getting repeated? Yeah.
Stop right now. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. I need somebody with a human,
The human touch song, yeah.
Stop right now. Thank you very much. I need somebody with a human touch. Hey, you, always on the run. Gotta slow it down, baby. Gotta have some fun. Always be together. Stay that way forever.
I think we talked about the ones I remember is the opening, the ending one, Wannabe, which they sing in a restaurant, and it sounds kind of weird. Is it like a
It's a demo version, I think,
Yeah, it
that they're
lists here
dubbing over.
demo
it's
version,
definitely,
but it's definitely
yeah, because that one is supposed to be a flashback of like this fictional version of when they were up and coming and developing their first single. So it's like deliberately kind of dialed back, and it's just the 5 of them, and like supposed to be a cassette recording that they're singing along to. So yeah, it is not the final version of Wannabe.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I'll tell you what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I'll tell you what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really wanna
I mean,
Although
this movie was definitely dealing with realism. They really wanted the realism of the
Yeah,
Spice story.
yeah.
Especially when the
I
aliens
really wanted
showed
the realism
up.
of,
Yeah.
of when they put Fleabag's dad out of business because they never paid their tab.
That's true.
He's out of business now. They never paid their
So that's why
tab. I
Fleabag
watched
is so
this movie so many
sad.
times.
Got it.
Yeah. Got
We
it.
never mentioned what Fleabag's dad did for a living. Just had sex with Olivia
Well, no, he was
Colman.
the barkeep. Like,
As you should.
oh, you mean in Fleabag?
Yeah. No, he was the barkeep.
Sorry, I was like, no, we saw his
No.
career in Spice Girls.
My
He was
justification
the
is they're the
barkeep.
same character. That
Yeah,
Fleabag is
it's
just a
connected.
sequel to Spice World.
Incredible.
Fleabag is friends with the Spice Girls.
Speaking
Oh,
of
I love
sequel to
that.
Spice World, has anyone looked at the Wikipedia?
Oh, what do you got
I
there,
had opened
Andrew?
this whole time as I am prepared.
It's announced, and apparently it's going to happen
Oh yeah.
with superheroes.
Yeah, they've been talking about, God bless, they've been talking about doing a sequel to Spice Girls since like 2019-ish, because the girls have actually gone back on tour a few times. In that interim, they're kind of back together. The whole drama is Jerry actually left the Spice Girls, I think in like 99.
She
Like,
left
again,
a few months after this movie came out.
Oh, it was even earlier. Like their time in the spotlight was pretty short. Yeah, she left the Spice Girls. They tried to do an album with just 4 of them, didn't fly. None of us, we were like, no, if it's not all 5, it's nothing. Although I'll be honest, I think if Posh went, I would not miss her. She's not my favorite.
Damn.
Is anyone's
But-
favorite Posh?
I don't know. David Beckham.
You make and probably her children too. Oh.
Probably.
It surprised me.
I'm
He
like,
seems
I'm
pretty
sure she's
sporty. I feel like he'd be into sporty.
I no shade to the real woman, but her persona in The Thing I always found to be the least interesting, because everyone else is about having fun and she's just purposefully aloof and very separate from them most of the time, which I always found less fun.
You know what? That's fair. That is completely fair. We're getting to hour 20, so we gotta wrap up now. I feel like we could talk to you 5 hours about Spice Girls, and I would love it. But don't worry, you'll be back on the show. We know this. But everyone, what is your overall thoughts on Spice World and your cheese rating? Lady Knight, are you aware of our cheese ratings?
Am I aware of cheese ratings? I gave you a cheese rating on the last episode I was on.
You're right. We've had people that have come onto this show previously, then come back and be like, what's the cheese rating? People have done that.
no.
It's great.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I feel like at this point I've been singing your show ditties. If I didn't know what your cheese rating is, I feel like that would reflect poorly on me. I'm going to say like a spicy pepper jack cheese. Because spice.
That's fair.
Get it? And also because I like it. I like a pepper jack.
What about you, Andrew?
Let's see. I'm gonna give it a Pear Philly, which is a British cheese, and it's a slightly sour taste, because that is what I got from this.
Rude.
True.
Rude and incorrect.
Incorrect.
Rude.
I could see the appeal. It's not for me.
That's valid.
That I will allow.
Valid.
Like, I get it. It's very goofy, but I don't know. it didn't land with me. I did not.
That I
feel
will
it.
respect.
Yeah.
What about you, Liz?
I enjoyed it. If I was a child and I watched this, I would have loved it even more. But girl power, you know? So I'm going to give it horseradish cheddar cheese.
Fair enough.
Is that a girl powerful cheese?
No, I don't know. Maybe I really connect to it more than Andrew did.
You know what? All cheese are made from a girl cow, so all cheese is girl power.
All cheese are
Technically,
from
all
lady
cheese
cows,
is girl
yeah.
power.
Only girl cows
If-
can give
if you
milk. I learned that
consider-
from Into the Woods. Did
you
you
consider
confused for a second there, Lady Knight?
Dairy cows to be empowered.
Wasn't like I just didn't think about it, but yeah, I guess.
Cheese
All
is a
cheese is
feminine
girl
thing.
power.
I'm not sure I can consider dairy cows to be empowered, though.
No.
Dairy cows aren't
they're kind
empowered.
of
Empower
locked
your
in the-
dairy cows.
Yeah.
Girl power,
right.
blah, 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 moo.
Let me milk you for
Moo.
cheese.
Okay, Jess, say your cheese rating quick.
Go the rails.
Well, I thought that this show was...
Oh, Jess, no.
Oh no.
Not like this.
Jess, no.
Can't keep getting away with it.
Jess, you can't do this.
I thought this was actually a lot of fun to watch. It was a slog in the first third. The first third was really rough for me to get through. But once it started picking up and I realized the tone and vibe of the film, I was on for the ride. And the climax to the end, thoroughly enjoyed it. I will probably watch this again sooner rather than later. And the only cheese I can give this is an old roan Wensleydale from a website called Posh Cheese, because Posh Spice.
Wensleydale.
Wensleydale. It's award
And
winning.
also, And also because Curse of the Rare Rabbit. We think we brought that up today.
We did, yep.
Yeah.
Well, you did just now when you said Wensleydale.
Wensleydale.
Also, I have to say, one of my favorite bits is during the credit scene when they start talking directly to the camera, and they start, like, there was one of them goes like, you in the back, I like his skirt. And we would always be like, it's me! I'm wearing his skirt!
King shit.
That bit was very exciting when we were children.
You know what? This is a very empowering movie. I have to give it a second watch and feel more girl power, feminism, blah, 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 whatever. Lady Knight, thank you so much for joining us. You have such wonderful content. Please promote it out here for the world in case they don't already know, and they should know.
What was that? Was that Russian?
The accents keep coming.
The accents are just going
can't
everywhere.
Was
stop.
that an accent? I
can't
thought that
stop
was
him.
just me talking.
No, turn into an accent somehow.
And they should know.
He
That was all
literally
I
thought he was
said.
just talking, and he still somehow
Still
did
did an
that.
accent.
It's
He's
the
an
multiple
actor.
personalities in me.
Lady Knight the Brave.
Lady
No, I
Knight the
can't do accents
Brave
either.
over there on the
I can't do accents
YouTubes.
either. Yeah, I do videos. Right now I'm working on a video on Much Ado About Nothing. I just finished a video on the Gray Zone, which Lionsgate is being a big bag of dicks about. So if you don't live in the US, it's on Nebula or download a VPN. I'm so sorry. Please watch it. I worked really hard on it. And yeah, I make video essays about film theory and story and things.
Yeah, and if you aren't on Nebula, you're missing out on like these weekly like recommendations from Lady Knight in these little videos.
Oh, you mean the monthly movie
Yeah.
reviews? I was gonna say I definitely don't produce them once a
I'm
week.
sorry. I jump on Nebula, and every time I just kind of binge them.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Yeah, so if
Yeah,
you're not
the
on
monthly movie
Nebula,
reviews.
you should check those out. Or if you are on Nebula, I mean, it's cheap. Whatever.
Also, the Rise of the Gardens video.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic.
Also, the MASH video.
They're all fantastic.
Fantastic. Andrew, you got one?
Hey! No, he doesn't.
I think I have seen, but
What, really? I assumed you didn't.
I did too.
We are shooketh.
I went to the channel earlier, and I feel like I had watched one.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I'm wondering.
Well, wait, let me guess. A Knight's Tale. I'm going to guess A
Ooh,
Knight's Tale.
yeah.
That's a good guess, but I don't
No.
think Andrew's ever seen that movie. Jojo Rabbit was going to be my
Oh.
guess.
Yeah, me too.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, you continue to be predictable, Andrew. On that note, speaking
I
of
am predictable.
Speaking of predictable, thank you guys for listening to our podcast. Pull up Apple iTunes and leave us a review there and talk about whatever you want. You can write gibberish there for all I care. As long as it's a 5-star review, we'll read it on the podcast during our mid-show next time. So get it in there and we'll read it aloud. You can say whatever you want. You can write the Communist Manifesto. You can write like your own promo to your own shit.
Say come.
Same thing, really.
Yeah, same thing.
Either way, we'll read it in our mid-show, so write it in our reviews. We're also on
How to make
Spotify.
bombs.
A nice recipe for blueberry muffins. Whatever.
That's better.
How to make ammonia
Same
gas.
thing, really. Everyone already
This
knows
is going
that.
to very different places.
How to make meth. We can do all these things. You just got to put it into the...
Blueberry pies or meth.
They're both blue.
True.
That's true. Yeah.
Really?
We're also
Breaking Bad,
on
man.
Spotify and Stitcher over at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals, Patreon Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese. We have a YouTube page called Musicals with Cheese. We have a Patreon-only podcast called Patreon with Cheese. We're talking about Tangled over there. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. You're the fucking best, Juliet! This show is produced by the wonderful, the incredible, one of my favorite people in the entire world, Brianna Jones. Our theme songs were created by Robin Nash of IOU Music UK. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform and for not kicking us off for cyberbullying Baby Spice.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be meatloaf.
I thought it was gonna be Posh Spice.
we've done Meatloaf already.
We,
I feel like we were pretty nice to Baby.
there's a podcast and a video bullying Meatloaf, so
Well, I think we've had our fun with Meatloaf. It is more people texted me when Meatloaf died than when Sondheim died. I feel like that says a lot.
when Meatloaf died, my first thought was, wow, I made a whole video on YouTube trashing the man. What have I done?
I woke up to 15 texts that Meatloaf died.
You better apologize.
You killed him.
Like, it was ridiculous. Either way, thank you, Lady Knight, for joining us. This was a lot of fun. I hope you'll come back again. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did.
All right. And we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese. Tell me what I want, what you really, really want. Oh,